Hi, welcome to Jackie Burns Creations. Our collaboration today is done with Cloches. Our hosts are Tammy from Happiness Created and Shawnee from Glitchy Stitches Homes DIY. Loved these two ladies. They're just sweethearts. They're my friends. So check out their channels and check out the playlist. Our first DIY is I got these new molds from IOD, that's Iron Orchid Designs, and I had this foam clay in black that I thought, well, I want to play around with it because I had never used foam clay in the molds before. I had used paper clay and I had used resin, but I'd never used the foam clay. And so I got some of the foam clay and tried it in there, and it worked out really, really nice. I got this on Amazon. So when they're all dry, you take them out of the mold, and they needed painting, of course, because they were black. I used this paint that someone gave me that says outside paint, and I thought maybe it was a little thicker, but it didn't. It wasn't that thicker. I'd have been better off just using some chalk paint. So anyway, I took some foam, cut it to size, and I'm putting moss on it. With the paint, though, it did blend nicely. So there they are painted. I've got a piece of fern, different mushrooms, a turtle, just adding a few more touches of paint on some of the mushrooms. And it does work out really well if you leave the foam in there for a couple of days. With air dry clay and stuff, you need to brush it with cornstarch or baking powder or or baking soda, and then you can dump it out real easy. A lot of people use it all still wet, and they'll glue it with wood glue right onto their project. It's great if you're using it on bottles because it'll shape right to the bottles. This was just kind of an experiment for me to see what would happen, and it came out pretty good. I'm using my little dotting tool to dot that red one. I'll show it to you in a second, and don't mind my messy hands. I'm the messiest painter in the world, I swear. So it's got this little ball on the end of it, and it works great for doing dots or all kinds of things. The other end's a little teeny one. It's more pointy. So there I'm gluing the tallest mushrooms to the front of it. And I'm taking some wire and cutting little pieces off and gluing it to the back. And luckily enough, the cart that had my wire in it got put in the house. A lot of boxes are heavy and I can't carry them in, and I'm trying to get somebody to carry them in for me. So I'm just placing them. Some of the wire I had to cut off because it was a little too long. There I'm putting the turtle on. And the red mushroom. And the fern. The fern was a little too tall, so I cut it off. And I glued it on the same way as I did the mushrooms. I put a lot of glue on it and just held it in place. And then I took the other little piece of fern and just put it on the top. It's making a cute little woodland scene. It's damp and the mushrooms are growing up from the old fallen oaks. So I'm trying the lid on, the cloche on it, trying to get everything tucked in, and I figured out that the tallest mushrooms were too tall and it bent them. So I was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I don't want to cut the bottom off. The bottom was quite cool. How am I going to do this? So this is one of the cloches that came from Dollar Tree. And I don't know if I sprayed something at one time in my old workspace. Got something on the cloche. But it had all these little spots all over it, and I tried to clean it, and it didn't work. So what I did was I cut the mushroom tops off and moved them down and glued them back in place. So they're just not as tall. Yeah, get some of that moss out of the way. So messy. Love-hate relationship with moss. So now I can stick the top on and give it a little twist, and yay, it fit. Kind of crowded in there. I think I'd like to try one of the bigger cloches with the mushrooms. I think that'd be cute for a little fairy scene. But here it is, all done. You can see the little turtle out there and behind the one bigger mushroom. There he is. Look at his cute little face. It's so cute. DIY number 2. Well, this isn't really a DIY. This is more a decorating idea. But I guess you still have to put it together, so you do it yourself and don't go out and buy it. I find cloches at thrift stores all the time. I found this one at a thrift store, and it had that pretty little plate, and somebody had taken a part of something silver and glued it to the bottom of it. Well, unfortunately, it got broken in the move, but it didn't come apart because that thing was glued on the bottom. These eggs I got at a thrift store. Aren't they gorgeous? I paid about $20 for all those eggs. Gosh, when I was in Russia, you could buy eggs like that for about $20 a piece. So what I did was I just cleaned it, filled it up, and put it on the little tray. And look how pretty. DIY number 3. Okay, this is the biggest cloche, and I wanted to make something really good in there. So I've got this little house from Dollar Tree, and I got this wood round, I think from Dollar Tree, and it had this rope on it, and I had to yank that rope off. Because the cloche that I'm using, the bottom, the base of it, has a seascape scene on it that I did last summer. And so I needed a bottom that would pretty much fit it. So I'm using the liquid patina. It's a DIY paint. It's like a Mod Podge, but it's thinner. It's more quality-like. So this piece of paper I got in France. This lady took us to the swap meet with her and her husband, and I helped pay for the cab, and we went to the swap meet in Lyon, and I found all kinds of good stuff. I got to get my video together to show you guys. But she had picked up some ephemera, some books with different like ledgers and things like that. So she tore us out a page, gave us each a page. And I just thought the writing on this was so beautiful. Someday the kids will go, "What's that writing?" Cursive, my child, cursive. Anyway, so beautiful writing. And you could see how easy I was able to tear it with my fingernail. So I'm going to slather. Remember, that's one of my favorite words. Crafting word, slather. I'm going to slather the liquid patina on it. And lay this down into place. And we'll just let it dry. Oh, I will put a top coat on it. I was worried if it would run the ink, but it didn't. So now I had these little pots that I got from Dollar Tree. I thought they were adorable. They're so cute. And I thought, oh, that would be so cute in there, because I want to do a spring-like thing. And I thought the little pots would be cute. So I took some of my napkins that had some pretty designs on them. And I did the liquid patina and wrapped the napkins around. And you know what? These little things were harder to work with than any big thing I ever had. It's because my fingers would stick to them and try to pull the paper off. And, oh my goodness, probably would have been better off painting them. But in the long run, they look cute. I'm just not a person to play with miniatures. I love miniatures. I love looking at them. I love watching people like Nancy and Melissa create them. I'm just a klutz, though. My fingers just don't want to work that way. Because they're fat and stubby. And I'm taking some of the DIY paint. It's called Apothecary. This is the chalk base, or the clay-based paint. It's designed by a lady named Debbie in California. And she's got a YouTube channel called Debbie Designs. And I always get all mine from Jami Ray Vintage. I love this Apothecary. I think it's such a pretty green. Okay, I'm getting this cloche cleaned up because it looked pretty dirty. I'm loving working in my new craft room. It's just still getting it organized. Oh, geez. So I got these letters from Oriental Trading. I found the Y and I found the L, and I had to dig through the whole bag to find the F. Wouldn't you just know? And like always, I'm taking a sanding sponge, because I don't know where my finger sander is. And I just sanded off the sides. Since I don't have any black paint available, I am using a black magic marker, and I made a great big hole to make it look like a birdhouse. Now I will color it in. And you'll see in a minute why I made the hole so big. But what's more spring than birdhouses? And to cover it with words that are actually, written a long time ago. I think I saw on the paper it said 1913. Being in French, I don't know what it says, but it sure is pretty. I've been picking up some cool and unusual ephemera lately. Okay, I put a little wood glue, Gorilla Wood glue on the back, and putting the letters in place. And even though this is a small word, I always put the middle word in first. And that way you've got equal sides to do your rest. So I'm just futzing with it and putting it in place. And it needed a little more color and greenery, so I thought, well, this lavender would be good. First off, though, I put a big squirt of hot glue in the little pots so it would hold these little tiny flowers. And these are the smallest flowers I could find. And I have flowers galore. I think I need to get me some more of these little flowers, because I did buy more of those little pots. So anyway, I'm gluing some of this lavender on the back. I left the easel on it. I could have taken it off and I could have decorated the back and taken the label off, but I still can do that. So when I take it out of the cloche, I may just want to stand it up someplace. And the back of it won't be seen, even though it's glass all the way around. So this little bird, let me tell you about this little bird. In Las Vegas, they have vending machines. Artists can apply to put their artwork. They have to make artwork a certain size, small size, in these vending machines. And I bought things out of there before, little tiny pictures and things. So we got this little bird when we went to see an exhibit. And some of the restaurants or casinos or art exhibits and stuff, they have these vending machines. They used to be old cigarette vending machines, but now they've replaced them with automatic ones like the candy machines where you punch in the number you want. So you can get artwork vended. Anyway, this little bird is crocheted, and I love the colors. I love the detail on it. It was so cute. And I'm sure it said what kind of yarns they used, but oh man, look how cute it is. So that's why I made the hole pick, so the little bird can go in and out. We're pretending he's sitting on a stick. So this little house was funny. Some ways it would go in and other ways it wouldn't. So that tells me that the cloche isn't perfectly round. So I'm putting some of my little flower pots out front. And I think it comes out looking very shabby chic or cottagecore or granny chic. And boy, I know about being a granny. I've got 2 granddogs, a granddaughter that's just about ready to turn 21, and a grandbunny. Oh, thanks for coming along, and go ahead and subscribe if you like what I did. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And you could buy me a coffee if you want. That would be greatly appreciated. So, Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Here's everything all finished up. Okay, bye for now.